Hey, rulers. So, welcome back to the Reframe. I have been away for the past couple of weeks, but I am back, fresh off the high holidays as they're done. Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah, or let's say Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur. So happy to be back. And of course, came back this week and dropped question number 7 of the Live by the Rules 36 Questions Challenge, which of course was to take 4 minutes and tell your life story to your partner. So, of course, in this instance, you all are my partner, so my audience. And of course, due to the constraints of social media, had to figure out how to get it down to under 3 minutes. And I think by the time you back out the introduction, I probably did it in maybe 2 minutes 20 seconds, maybe. So, needless to say, that was a bit of a challenge. Definitely was a process. I enjoyed the process. It was a painful process because I think I was up until like 3 a.m. Working on all of that, but I think I'm very happy with what the final result was. So I did not. I tried to not hold back too much. It was definitely challenging to get through some of the finer details, and there's definitely lots of substance, right, that got gone over. So of course, just starting out, it was definitely challenging. So thank you to the AI tools for helping me to cut down that manuscript quite a bit. So again, like I say, welcome back, or welcome me back. I'm happy to be back. I actually missed doing this for the past couple of weeks, but I did. I had a really good time. And I just want to say, please follow, like, share, subscribe to this channel if you are interested in walking the rest of this journey with me. So we're only on question 7. We got like quite a few questions to go. And of course, from what I understand, like, this is supposed to, get deeper and deeper. And I think there was some pretty deep stuff that got shared this week. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you should go back and watch the video. I will definitely make sure to post the link. But, high level, I'm Atlanta, born and bred, been here all my life. I lived very briefly in Northern Virginia. The snow drove me back. Couldn't do it. I don't know how they do it. And I think that was the blizzard of 1996, maybe that happened. And I'd never seen that much snow in my life. Like, up to that point, it had literally like hit my ankles, and with this, it was like hitting my knees. And then they wanted you to go like out and go to work, and I was just like, yeah, you guys can forget this. I'm going back down south. And I've pretty much been back in Atlanta ever since then. So you've all heard me kind of talk about my eclectic, shall we say, upbringing. I actually, I've come to really appreciate the fact that I had a lot of different experiences. My mom, really did, a fantastic job of introducing me to the arts, and I still have appreciation for the ballet and going to the symphony and just having unique experiences. But, as a kid growing up in the city, it wasn't, that definitely was not the norm of most of the kids that were around me at the time. And so, I got teased quite a bit, and, it it was just one of those things that kids do, and I think nowadays it's a little bit different from, like, I look at it as building resilience, right? And I've seen like the memes and everything about, 70s kids and how, we're outside, we had free reign, we could play all day. Your parents didn't really care about what you were doing. You were just out there kind of living your life and, breaking bones and making mud pies. But I wouldn't change it for anything. And even now, I wouldn't change the teasing that I got at the time for anything as well. It's always hard. It's painful when, somebody makes fun of you, but I'm sure, okay, for me, it was, why do you talk like that? You think you're so smart? All of those things. And for other kids, I'm sure it's other things. Everybody has their struggles. As a kid or as a young adult, it's like you're always trying to figure out yourself and figure out where you fit in. And, if I think about it from a Kabbalah standpoint, which is, of course, what I've been studying for the past few years, Kabbalah would teach you that you really do have to, like, those experiences in your childhood are really the things that you actually, like, they're given to you as gifts so that you have the opportunity to use your free will to choose to not do those same types of hurtful things to other people as an adult. And I always say it's like one of the biggest responsibilities we have is having kids. And I think it's just really now kind of sinking in how much programming people do with their children. And I have had to explain to my own kids, like, I'm sorry, guys. Like, I was just doing the best that I could with the information that I had at the time. And, a lot of times you're relying on what you saw your parents do. And so my hope always is that now that we're starting to learn more, right, about how impressionable kids are and how their brains really kind of process some of the lessons and things like that you teach, that you're teaching them, like they're watching you and learning from you all the time. That will encourage people to be a lot more thoughtful about the things that they say to their kids. You can discipline your kids and kind of keep them on the straight and narrow without demeaning them and making them, feel bad. And then part of me wonders about that as well. It's like, if you tiptoe around your kids, then they end up not being able to handle feedback and all that stuff. So it's like, it's almost like a lose-lose. Like, you never really get to win with your kids, with raising your kids. I think I posted a video on TikTok about that, where it's like, it's always like you blame your parents for your problems, but then it's almost like your parents' jobs to, like, mess you up in some way. So no matter what they do, it's never the right combination of things. And so you don't realize that yourself until you become a parent. And I think I heard that somewhere. It's like, your kids will appreciate you as a parent, most likely when they're a parent too, and they're now experiencing some of those same things. And it's funny, I see that with my daughter, with my grandsons. So anyways, you do the best that you can, and you hope that you're instilling in them, lessons that will help them to really kind of navigate the challenges and everything that they're going to eventually face. So you can't like wrap them up in bubble wrap and, keep them safe and protected from everything. Like, I think a lot of people in my age range, have, tried that approach, right? Where it's like, oh, you can't, don't do that and don't touch that. And you don't give your kids the freedom to be kids. And then what you do is you end up raising people who are like anxious all the time. And, so it's one of those things where it's like, it's like, good luck getting it right. just keeping it real. It's like, and I always tell new parents, it's like, look, do what works for you. Like, stay off of the social media and people, giving you their advice, because everybody is different. Each and every person on this planet is different and is seeing the world through their individual lens. And so, the advice that you're getting from people online who don't know your kids, they don't know your household, they don't know anything about you or your background, except for whatever kind of cursory glances they've had into your life online. It's like, are those really the people you want to be taking advice from? So I guess I'm sitting here saying that while I'm online. So I guess that's a paradox, right? It's like, I'm advising you not to take advice from people online while I am online. So I think that's pretty deep. That could go like on and on and on and on. But anyways, so yeah, again, you just don't realize, just how the things that you say and the things that you do, actually are getting processed in your kids' brains, right? So, for example, I was in maybe first grade or so. I used to go to church with some of my neighbors, my best friends. They were like my childhood best friends because, of course, I was an only child. And it was 4 of them. They were all sisters. And I would go down to their house on Sunday, and their mom would do my hair, and, she made like the best biscuits in the world. And I would go to church with them ever so often, not every Sunday, but kind of when I felt like it, which is, interesting to say as a kid that young, that I knew that there were times when I wanted to actually go to church. And there was one Sunday that I went, and my mom had given me my little, quarter or whatever to give to the donation basket. And the minister says, offerings were a little low last week. And I think that's because attendance was low. So if you would give for this week and last week too. And of course, I'm 6, 7 years old, and I'm looking around like, okay, what does that mean? Like, I have this one quarter, so what does that mean? And something about it didn't feel right at the time. And I remember kind of processing it as, at the time, it really just kind of bothered me that he was, kind of saying that I wasn't going to be blessed or whatever in the moment because I wasn't giving enough money. And that didn't feel right to me. And so I always thought that the way that situation impacted me was that I was always very leery of churches and things like that where they kind of over rotated on asking for money. Like that always just kind of bothered me. And so I spent a lot of time like searching from church to church to church, trying to find that right spot. And anytime they would start going down that path of talking about money and things of that nature, it would, it was like a reaction, like it triggered me. And so anyways, in my adult life later on, I was doing kind of an exercise, a class where they were really trying to delve into like the thoughts that you have about money and, just, where did those things come from? Like the feelings that you have about it. And I always said, like, I want to make more money so that I can share more. And, and it was like something was saying to me, like, and it's not my intuition, which was the guiding voice that I talked about in the video, but more of that nagging, it's your opponent voice that makes you kind of feel bad about stuff. That was really saying like, see, you don't make enough, you're not doing enough, all those things. And I really started to think about, where did this lesson come from? Where did this come, this notion of not having enough, where did that come from? And when I did some meditation on it, I thought back to that minister and his words, and the way that my 6-7-year-old brain processed what he was saying was that I'm not enough. I don't have enough. I don't have enough to offer. And that carried over into, it showed up in so many ways, in so many places in my life, even to the point of me being hesitant about doing this, about doing Live by the Rule. Like I really had to retrain my brain. I had to reframe. I had to reframe that lesson and tell myself the truth. And the truth is that I have more than enough. And not only do I have enough, but I also have lots to share. I have my special light that I want to share with the world. And I can't let some lesson from 45 years ago from some minister who had no idea that he was planting that seed in my head to continue to let that germinate. And so I decided at that point that I was just going to pulling that weed up by the root, and I was just going to do what I'm doing, which is to get on here and share my story, share my thoughts. And I think the other part of why I do this, not only because I do feel it's important for, the world, people within the world, to understand that we're all connected together. We are one soul. When I do something against someone, when I treat somebody how I would not want to be treated, when I don't live by the rule, that not only does that impact me and that person acting in that moment, but it sends out energy that reverberates around, it reverberates in places around the world that I don't even have any idea. And so I knew that it was important for me to share that notion with as many people as I can, and to encourage as many people as I can to make the decision that they will be more thoughtful about how they treat the people that they come in contact with, and that they will hopefully to encourage people to really kind of pause and ask yourself the question, and it's so simple, but ask yourself the question when you're getting ready to do something, do I want someone to do that to me? If you don't want anybody stealing from you, don't steal from other people. You don't want anybody being mean to you, don't be mean to other people. You don't want someone telling you who you could be in a relationship with, don't do that to other people. It's like, it really is so simple, but yet it's so hard. So I just want to do my part, do what I can to go on record as saying that, I know that that's not the way. And maybe nobody will hear this. See, London's on, so she's maybe listening. But maybe nobody will hear it. Or maybe in 50 some odd years when my grandkids are grown and adults, they'll go back and they will look at me's YouTube and they will hear my words and hear me encouraging them that they should choose to live by the golden rule, and they can choose to be rulers of their lives, and they can be be kind to other people and be loving, and it's a choice, and it's a choice that we all have. It's a choice that we all have the free will to make, and that ability to have free will to make that decision is the thing that separates us from every other creature, person, anything that you can experience in this world. That's the big difference, is you do get to choose. And when you make that choice, then that's when you become a ruler of your life, and you'll start to see that the negative things that happen in your life will just start to, they'll just start to float away. And it'll really change the way that you see your world and that people see you, and then they'll be encouraged to make changes in their lives. And it's like one by one, each one of us commits to doing that to the other person, the people that we interact with. Do it with your kids, start at home, right? Start at work, start with your friend group. If you don't want people talking negatively about you, don't talk negatively about other people. It's like it all is one big circle. And so we are here to change and to learn that lesson. And yeah, chances are, according to the experiences that you had as a kid or a teenager growing up, it makes it very easy to just say, yeah, screw that guy. I'm gonna be nice to everybody except those people. This person that hurt me, or that person that hurt me, or this group of people that's going around and hurting people. It's like, that is the challenge. That is the challenge of our lives, is to learn that it doesn't have to be that way. That you don't have to be in your 50s or your 60s or your 70s to learn that lesson. As a matter of fact, the earlier you learn it, probably the more fulfilling and rewarding and stress-free your life will be. And so, yeah, so that's my message. And I'm glad that I did not lean into what Reverend, whoever he was, said at the time, and that it didn't deter me from continuing to explore spirituality, and to really kind of discover what it was that was important to me, and to be able to really have a desire to connect with my true self, and also with the people around me. Like, my life has been enriched because I have had all of these wonderful experiences. I've had friends from all over the world. I've traveled from all over the world. And when you do that, you do see that we're not different. Everybody wants to work, be paid a fair wage, be able to take care of their families, to be able to, be safe, to be comfortable, to have somewhere to live. It's like there's not a whole lot of difference in what our basic desires are. And then you get the fun stuff sprinkled in. So you get the music, and you get the food, and you get just whatever the culture is. And if you're someone who's fortunate enough to travel, or even just have experiences where you are locally, go into those things just with an open mind. Like, I've always found that people want to share with you. If you go in and you're respectful, and you show a genuine interest in what they're doing and want to understand the reason why, people will share with you. They want to bring you into a glimpse of their world, and as you experience those things that are outside of the things that you've learned, the things that you were programmed with as a kid, it does change the way that you see the world. Like I had a friend today that talked about, the different lenses that you can put on to see the world. And when they talk about like rose-colored glasses, it's like, it really is about changing the way that you see everything that goes on around you. And when you start to expand that and you start to change your lens, you realize that you are surrounded by just beauty. And you get to choose whether or not you want to focus on that. And I get it. It's like, it's really, really easy to lean into the negative, but you get to control it. You get to control your story. You get to control how you interpret the things that are happening around you. And I guarantee you that, there's a bug. I guarantee you that there's always a positive that you can lock in on. You just have to kind of choose it. So, anyways, again, if you haven't had a chance to go back and look at the video for question 7, because there were some things in there that I'm just not going to talk about right now. If you have questions about it, feel free. If you would like for me to explore any of those things further, or you want to come on and talk to me if you've had similar situations that you have experienced in your life that you've had trouble kind of reframing, reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you. And with that, I will say, I hope that you always remember, I rule me. And of course, that you can always choose to live by the rule. And again, please follow, like, share, subscribe. I'm over 300 followers now. So I'm like, yay. I celebrate everyone. So if you want to see me do, I get up there and do an old school dance. If you want to see me like bust a move, then share this with your friends. And yeah, so it's always a happy thing for me. So with that, I will bid you good night. And I wish everyone the best. Enjoy that full moon. Go out and soak in some moon rays, and ask for the light to come into your life and to guide you in revealing what your true purpose is, because everybody has one and it's unique to you. And I encourage you to go and delve into that. Never let anybody tell you that what you have to offer is not enough, because everybody has something to offer. So, with that, good night.